Welcome to tonight's In Focus discussion on the Millcreek Promise. All across the state, we saw Utahns from different walks of life impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Tonight, we'd like to highlight one of those stories and tie in how the City of Millcreek's programs help some of their residents get back on their feet during this tough time. Joining us live in studio tonight is Reginald Gutter, a resident of Millcreek. Reggie, thank you so much for joining us tonight and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Reggie, help us understand, how long have you lived in the City of Millcreek?
Actually, about 2.5 years.
Okay. How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted you?
Well, I had a pretty good job, and I got laid off because of this, slowdown. And actually, after I got laid off, arthritis kicked in and kind of messed up my whole system here. So I ended up filing for disability and asked the state for some help and got it.
Now, why is it important for you to have internet access, and how would it have impacted you if you had to go without it?
Well, one of the things is, like I said, I'm only been here 2.5 years, so my family, I get to reach out and contact them as far as getting access to any programs that help, the seniors like myself. It just helps me out as far as even just entertaining myself and just bored.
Now tell us about how the City of Millcreek's housing assistant has helped you during this tough time. What predicament did you find yourself in? How did you find out about the program, and then what happened after that?
I was actually at a food pantry, and a young lady named Lily was handing out flyers, and she gave me a flyer about the Millcreek Assistance Program, and they actually helped me out with my rent, which I was behind, and helped me keep up a little bit here.
Okay, so they helped you with rent and the internet.
Yes, exactly.
Any luck on finding another job since then, or what's kind of next for you as you kind of ride out the waves of the pandemic?
Well, actually, like I said, I filed for disability because arthritis kicked in and kind of took over my body. So I'm just waiting on disability, and just the help I got from Millcreek helped me maintain my housing. And with the internet, like I said, I can reach out, pay bills, do whatever I need to do, to social media, period.
Now, this program that you've received benefits from, they're still accepting applications for other people who may be in a similar situation like you. What would you like our viewers at home to know, especially if they also live in Millcreek and they're also in need?
If you need help, check these programs out because they do help. They give you a little life, okay? Because when you're feeling like you have nowhere to turn, here they are. They picked up the pieces for me.
Now, you've been hearing from Reggie Gutter, a resident of Millcreek. Reggie, thank you so much for coming on the show. We love hearing stories like this about people receiving help and helping one another during the pandemic. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us for our second In Focus discussion tonight on the Millcreek Promise. Now, the City of Millcreek partners with several community organizations to help residents in need. That type of assistance is especially needed during this tough time because of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of those organizations is the Pacific Island Knowledge to Action Resources, or PIC2AR for short. Joining us live in studio now is Fagatele, community health worker for PIC2AR. Tile, thank you so much for joining us tonight in studio, and welcome to the show.
Hello for Rosie, thank you so much for having me.
Now tell us about your organization. I don't know if I said the abbreviation right. You'll have to correct me if I didn't. What services do you provide, and what is your mission?
Yeah, so it's PICTAR, so Pacific Island Knowledge to Action.
I figured.
Yeah, no
hey,
worries.
At least I got your name right. At least I got your name right.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're winning for sure. So PICTAR was founded back in 2015 by Susie Felch-Malohi Fo'o and Simi Poteki, in addition to Sincere Teo. And the three pillars, if you will, is cultural preservation, in addition to economic growth or development within the Pacific Islanders, in addition to violence prevention. And so these are some of the three pillars, but there are broad programs and events that we support to enable the Pacific Islanders to be more community conscious members of society. So.
That's incredible, and I love that you guys are addressing some of these harder issues. Now, you are a community health worker for PICTAR. Could you share some of the things that you've observed or are seeing as far as the needs of our community goes?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So there are a lot of needs out in the community, and one of the biggest things that we face is homelessness. And so it's not just a localized thing in Millcreek, but it's something that's all across the valley here in Utah. And so it's wonderful that we're able to provide some resources to the Millcreek residents. Just the other day, we had someone reach out requesting information to how they can be a resource to the community. And so if anyone is out there who can provide resources or provide some relief to other community members, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to assist you.
Now, how did your organization get involved with the City of Millcreek?
Yeah, so previously we've joined, we worked in collaboration with the City of Millcreek on previous projects, and Ashley Cleveland is a project manager for the Promise grant through Millcreek, and she thought of PICTAR as being the wonderful candidate to be the community health workers and leverage those resources to be community liaisons. So that's how we got involved.
I love seeing our community organizations work together to continue to do good. Now, most of our Pacific Islander residents usually live on the west side of Salt Lake County, such as West Valley, Taylorsville, Kearns, Rose Park, and Glendale. What other diverse neighbors live in Millcreek?
Yeah, so we have a large population of refugees who call the City of Millcreek their home, which is wonderful. We have a lot of unemployed or underemployed community members, in addition to people who are transitioning from homelessness into sustainable or low income housing, excuse me. So it's a wonderful, diverse city, which we're happy to take part in their grant.
Now, what services are you offering with Millcreek Promise, that program, and how would a Millcreek resident access those services?
Yeah, for sure. So you would access or reach out to us at CHW, which stands for Community Health Worker, at PICTAR, PIK, the number 2AR.org. And some of the resources that we're providing through the Millcreek grant is that we were able to help 50 families obtain housing relief through the grant, in addition to internet essentials. And so it provides 6 months of Millcreek City sponsored internet, and then afterwards it's $10 plus some change for taxes that you would pay. And so unfortunately, we have reached our quota. However, there are other resources, whether it be OUCH or Pacific Islander Health Coalition, that can provide additional resources for rental relief or mortgage relief if you're in need.
All right, we've got about 30 seconds left. I want to ask you one more question. Obviously, you guys are offering a bunch of services for those in need. If someone wants to get involved with you guys, or they want to help out or want to become involved, what are you guys looking for, and how do people get in touch with you for that?
Yeah, so again, reach out to us on our website, PICTAR, PIKTAR.org. We're always looking for the ability to help other people in the community, and so if you have the ability or capacity to do so, please reach out. There's always someone in need that we can put you in touch with.
All right, you've been hearing from Fagatele, community health worker for Pacific Island Knowledge to Action Resources, or PICTAR. Tile, thank you so much for all that you and your organization are doing. We appreciate you being here on the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to tonight's third and final In Focus discussion on the Millcreek Promise. The program launched nearly 3 years ago, aimed to help their residents and their children to succeed and thrive in their community. Joining us now live via Zoom is Millcreek Mayor Jeff Silvestrini. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Rosie. Thanks for having me on.
Mayor, tell us about the Millcreek Promise program. When did it start? We knew it started about 3 years ago. And what does the city hope to accomplish with this program?
So Millcreek Promise, it was started 3 years ago, as you mentioned, basically to accomplish some goals in Millcreek. We wanted to build community. We have a really rich and diverse community, different socioeconomically on the east side versus the west side of our city. We wanted to bridge divides between that community, and we wanted to lift all boats. So we made promises to our Millcreek community, which is we're going to assist people with health and safety, education, and economic well-being. So the program is all about trying to design programs to basically leverage grants, leverage other partners, leverage volunteers to help other people in our community succeed.
That really is the three elements that a resident, community, family need to succeed. Now tell us about one of the Promise latest projects, which is the sponsored internet service and housing assistance. The deadline is coming up pretty soon for those, right?
So it is. So we have two programs that are kind of running out of time. One is the rental assistance program that we have, and the other one is our Internet Essentials program. So rental assistance, we all can appreciate the fact that a lot of people have been under stress with the pandemic and faced with problems with being able to pay rent. So we're trying to help in that regard. And then the other thing that's so important to succeed in this digital environment where I'm on Zoom, right, is digital equality and making sure that all of our residents have access to the internet that they need for work, for school, for social things, everything. So these programs are open until December 31. They're grant funded, and we're working with our partners with Pictar. You heard from those guys. We also have great partners from Comcast and United Way of Salt Lake, and the Canyon Rim Connection program. So, I urge people to apply. We only have a limited, resources left at this point near the end of the year, but it's our goal to continue to support these programs, and maybe we'll reboot them after the next year. Hopefully we'll get through this pandemic and get everybody vaccinated, but until then, we've got to help people so that they can continue to pay rent and get on the internet,
It sounds like this is a collaborative effort. So how was the Promise program able to accomplish all this? Who are your partners? It sounded like you just mentioned some.
So our city funds a manager for the program who's terrific, Ashley Cleveland, and that she works with various partners to try to help us with programs. And we do lots of things in addition to these two. We have started after-school programs in our Title I elementary schools. We have supported the food pantries with respect to those communities, and we've sponsored volunteers to help read with kids and help kids work with math. So Ashley's the coordinator for that. And the other thing that we've done that's great is we have improved one of our parks out at Sunnyvale Park, which serves a significant immigrant and refugee community. We put futsal courts in for those kids and are doing community gardens out there for them so that they can get some food security. We have a big problem with the food desert on the west side of our city, so we're trying to address those issues. So lots of stuff going on with Millcreek Promise, and we're always looking for ideas. We're always looking for partners. And I'll say that, this program is mostly grant funded. It's, the city doesn't spend a lot of resources on it, but it's a really important thing that we do.
How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the program? Have you guys over at the city seen maybe an increase in needs for the services that this program provides?
We've definitely seen an increased need, and we have a lot of concerns about our kids that are in Title I schools anyway and struggling with education. So trying to boost up our volunteer programs to get people to read with kids over the internet, over Zoom, is been a challenge, but we're doing that. And we're doing whatever we can to address the issues of the pandemic that are affecting our whole community.
Has the pandemic made you have to kind of rethink things as mayor, or as far as plans goes for what you initially thought when you launched the Millcreek Promise program 3 years ago?
Well, we never thought we would have to be doing so much stuff digitally in all of our leadership committees, and our other organization has had to meet remotely. We haven't been able to get together. We haven't actually been able to have contact with people in a human sense, right? And that definitely is a handicap, but we are working to overcome it because we have to, because these are the cards we've been dealt.
Now, one of the things that we wanted to do by highlighting this in our show tonight is to help spread awareness about your resources. The deadline is coming up pretty soon. In case we have viewers that are just tuning in now during your interview, remind us, how can they get a hold of those or the partners with the Millcreek Promise program so that they can get access to these services and assistance?
So the best thing that they can do is contact us at the city at Millcreek. It's 214-2700 is our telephone number, 801. Ashley Cleveland, we'll put you in touch with Ashley, and we'll direct you to these other partners that can help with the programs. I think you had gentlemen from Pictoire on, and you can contact Pictoire, and they'll help as well. But the easiest thing may be to get on the internet if you have internet, or call us at Millcreek. Our website is millcreek.us, and if you get on there, you're going to be able to find Promise, and you're going to be able to find out how to get a hold of us.
All right, you've been hearing from Millcreek Mayor Jeff Silvestrini joining us live via Zoom, even after recovering from recent surgery. Mayor, it's so good to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Rosie. It's good to talk to you.